Tyler, what's going on, man? It's C.W. Anderson. Look, your buddy Mike let me know that it was your birthday coming up. You're going to be the big 3-9. Not too much longer, you'll be catching me at 52, man. So don't get too old too fast. I also want to tell you that I wish you much success with your podcast, Count It Out, with Mike as well. Look, man, from myself to you, have a great birthday. And while you're waiting to hear from me again, keep your hands high, bro.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill After Steeler Approved Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler. I can't believe I'm going to say this with him sitting this close to me, but this is hard, Mike. And we are live, pal.
We are
together
live,
again. It's very rare that we get to do these face to face, side by side. I quite enjoy them, especially after my little moment of showing you lots of love last week. It will never happen again, I promise.
Hey man, you say you show me lots of love. I'm just glad to be here when you couldn't even bother to replace me last week.
That's also true. Thank you to the Classroom Match Classroom for helping a very busy week get through there. But I'm pumped up for this, man. We just we finally got you back up to a Barrie Wrestling event. We're recording this on Saturday night. Shortly, well, I guess Sunday morning technically, because we like to party. But
No, I want to tell you, first of all, I want to say that very touching show last week. I enjoyed a lot of what you said. You touched on some very emotional subjects. Your list, for the most part, was great. I loved your.
yeah, you said you had some heat with something.
I didn't say any heat. I just want to bring something up. Okay. And it had to do with also with your Billy Graham list, but I can't remember what it was. What your Billy Graham list was one of your items in your Billy Graham list was just his influence. Okay, yet that's not a moment now, is it?
Well, I mean,
okay,
it could
but
be.
no. And then on your list now, what was it on your chic list? There was something on your chic list.
Twitter.
It was his Twitter account. It's not a moment.
Of course. I mean,
so
clearly you've never read his Twitter account.
I would like to redact that the good old number 7 Brock Lesnar's theme song shall no longer be made fun of, because if your two items belong, then the good old number 7 Brock Lesnar's theme song belongs on my number 7 greatest Brock Lesnar moments.
I'm going to stand by both of those moments on my list, by the way.
And you should stand by mine.
His music is not a moment.
His music
it's amazing.
is an amazing part of his career.
It is.
And that's what your two other things are.
I will give you credit. His music is amazing, but I think Brock has done more in his career than having his music be a moment.
No, that music is...
The Iron Sheik's Twitter was the second half of his career.
Iron Sheik's Twitter was run by 2 friggin' Iranian dudes.
It was his cousins.
Yeah, it wasn't run by him.
I mean,
let's call it what it is here.
You can call it whatever you want. It was still the Iron Sheik verified.
It doesn't belong on the list.
What would you put on instead?
His theme song.
I hate you.
I fucking love his theme song. Can I tell you how much I forgot how much I love his theme song until you fit it into the show last week and listening to it? Man, that's a banger.
On behalf of Mike, my name is Tyler, and you have been counted out. No. It was great to have you back at Barrie Wrestling today. It's been about a year.
It's been exactly a year. I missed 12 shows.
And you missed some bangers, and you saw a great one tonight.
I really did. We had a great show tonight.
We did.
I gotta give credit where credit is due. A lot of good matches. I mean, you have matches like Fuerza versus Young Jay Lee that
take all my money.
You know is going to be great. You see the return of Holden Albright, always worth watching, always interesting what Holden's going to do. Great four-person closer for the main event with Alexia Nicole, John Atlas, Tarek, and Jesse V. Jesse V, who's quickly becoming one of my favorites in the scene. I don't think it's a spoiler now; it's already happened, so we'll just tear the Band-Aid off. We saw John Atlas walk away as the new Barrie heavyweight champion.
And he was very mean to me tonight.
He was very mean to you, but sticking with credit where credit is due, man. This is the first time I got to sit down at a show where you were announcing.
Yeah, I was nervous to announce in front of you.
Now, I've watched every show since that I've missed on IWTV, so it's not that I haven't seen you announce. I've been watching the shows, but this one was different for me because number one, it was in person, but you had this confidence about you today.
Felt different tonight.
You were different today. There was something different about you. I had these notes that I was going to wait till the end of today's show just to see what you were going to do today, and then sit with you because in the friendliest way, obviously, to help you because I want you to be the best you can be at these
100%.
shows.
If you can't take feedback from people, then you're an idiot.
So and I had all these notes from watching you on IWTV. I have none of those notes left because all the things I was going to critique you on, you already fixed. And I don't know if this comes from your peers at Barrie Wrestling giving you the same feedback. I don't know if it comes from you noticing them about yourself and fixing it on yourself, or maybe it's just the evolution of where you're going. You're just getting naturally better. But you were on fucking fire today.
Thank you.
Your crowd work was impeccable. Your inflection was way better than I've seen it up till now. You're getting to know your subjects, which is great. You're reading the room better. I had a critique of you before where every wrestling announce, it was kind of the same. Nobody stood out. Man, you make every wrestler personal for you now.
I'm trying. Yeah.
And it's great. I'm loving seeing it. So good job, man. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. And I still want to see your notes because I like to see that feedback. And, maybe, I don't know. This is my opinion. And people, you can take it or leave it and as you want. But my great-grandfather used to always say, you have 2 ears and one mouth for a reason. Sometimes you need to listen. And if you can pull yourself back, check your ego and listen to people. And Mike, you might see something totally differently than I see something. In fact, I know that because we've done enough countdowns together where we don't see eye to eye. But when it comes to something like a performance or even like doing a podcast together, like I love that we have that rapport where I can trust your opinion. And I won't get my feelings hurt if you come to me and be like, hey, you're doing good at this, but maybe look at it like this.
Because and you know that it comes from a place of me wanting you. I'm so proud of what you're doing with Barrie, and it comes from a place of me wanting you to be the best you can because I know you want to be. There's no point in me going to anybody in the Barrie locker room that I don't really know and being like, hey, so your fucking character right now, I'm not a fan. This is what you should do to fix it. It's not my fucking place. With you,
it is.
It's a bit my place
because we know each other.
Because we know each other so well, and I know you're open to it.
And I also value your opinion.
And you've actually asked for the critique.
100%.
But man, I got none right now. That's how good you did today. I'm so very
good.
proud of you.
Honestly, I did.
And I know you felt this, and I just got to put it out there so everybody else can hear it. I'm not saying you weren't accepted before, but holy fuck, is that crowd really accepting you right now?
I felt that tonight, and it really touched me.
When you're a company like Barrie Wrestling, and your announcer has been Diamond Jim Lowe at the pinnacle that Diamond Jim is at for so long, and then if Diamond Jim wasn't there, it was usually what's his name?
Dustin.
Thank you very much. Who is fantastic in his own right.
Absolutely.
And then you have you, who, it's like putting Isaiah Cross in the main event, when you're used to seeing, your Ferreras and your John Atlases, then you throw in somebody who just started. You're going to be like, really? You're throwing this green guy in? But sometimes those rookies, those green guys, surprise you. And tonight, it didn't take you very long. You've been doing this for less than a year. And that Barrie crowd embraced you tonight.
I hope and I hope they see, and I think a big part of it was this calls for a Bud Light. Big fan of that. I hope that they can see, like, for us, Mike, you and I have sat for Barrie Wrestling now for over 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. We started out with a table in the back, and an opportunity opened up for me to do some announcing. And I think that people resonate, that like they see the love that I have for this company and that we have for this company. And I was so happy to have you back there tonight. And I want
Barrie's always been a family to us. And I've been away for a long time, so it's a lot different for you than it is for me. The people are going to have to warm up to me again and get to know me again. And that's fine with me tonight. And that's fine with me. Oh no, there's a lot of people that, I see a lot of people that go up to you, I wouldn't say I'm on the ground floor, but I'm just above. And I felt that today, and that's okay.
I had more than one person going to me, hey, Mike's back tonight. Like, people know who you are,
and that was great. And I got a little pop tonight when you announced that I was back on the mic tonight, and I got a nice little pop in the crowd there, which I loved. It was a great feeling being back tonight. But even with the shows I've missed, it's still a family to me, because it's still the same people. We're missing a couple faces tonight. Pretty Ricky was doing his own show. Puff is out doing his Puff thing out in the UK. So faces like that weren't there tonight. But you had your Ferreras who have been there. I don't think I've ever been to a Barrie Wrestling show without Ferreza.
I don't think I have either.
Alexia Nicole. And then your guys that you're used to seeing, like Young Jay Lee, John Atlas, Jesse V, Mark Wheeler. These guys are the guys that come to know and see every single week on Vertigo. And this is great feeling, because it's not a rotating roster. It's a family there, and I love it.
Yeah, I
missed it. I don't know if I realized how much I missed it until today.
I thought you were gonna feel that way.
I knew I missed it, but I didn't know how much until today. So I'm sitting there today.
100%. And and it's been a year since you've been there, and things are so different now from where we were when we started with Barrie Wrestling. We were both too, I'm not gonna say scared people, but we were, we didn't have a role in Barrie Wrestling.
And wrestling was weird at that point when we started. This is September of 2020. 20 no.
What are we at now? 2020.
2021.
2021.
It was right when they were starting to allow wrestling shows. And we weren't allowed inside. We had to do it outside, and you and I set up a table, 100 feet away from the ring, and we just sat there and we minded our own business. We were able to make a couple friends even that first day. We met Puff right away and got in with Puff pretty good, and Jay Lee and
Wilson,
Isaiah Prince.
No, not Prince. Prince wasn't there for that one.
Yeah,
it was Jay. No,
pretty sure it was. He didn't wrestle, but he was there.
You might be right.
I am right.
You are right.
Yeah, thank you.
It happens every now and then.
But as Diamond Jim Lowe would say, you will get that kiss tonight, bud. Anyways, enough of that. Let's do you want to break down any of the card today?
No, I just kind of want to say thank you to everybody. The fans made me feel loved today. I was so happy to have you back there, because it just feels better when you're there. Wilson is awesome. He's always there and being Wilson and doing the best. And the fans really just made me feel loved today. Like I signed my first autograph as a Barrie Wrestling ring announcer today.
As a ring announcer.
Yes. My second autograph ever.
Third?
Yeah. Third, you're right. Yeah.
We signed that one signed, and we signed a magazine once.
That was cool.
Van Landen signed a Counted Out t-shirt we sold today.
Yeah, we sold a
for a
t-shirt.
kid, which is really cool. Our very last youth t-shirt. So we'll have to try to get some more of those. Remember, those t-shirts, the ones we sell at Barrie Wrestling, they're going. We only have a couple left.
Yeah.
So if you want one and you can't make it to a Barrie Wrestling show, you better get on prowrestlingtees.com/countedout7.
Or you can DM us and we'll figure something out. Do the pro wrestling tees, though. It's probably better. By the way, I feel like I look like PCO right now with the way my hair is cut. That's not great.
You do.
I do have a little PCO.
Oh,
in
yeah.
there,
Yeah. She did not do a good job.
She tried her best, though. Bless her heart. It was not the best haircut in the world today, but I had a great time. You know, life's too short to worry about that shit.
This is like she knew they call you TCO, so they're like, she's like, oh, I'm going to give him the perfect haircut.
But yeah, like just Barrie Wrestling in general was great tonight. Lots of twists and turns. Check it out on IWTV. Subscribe to that, but more importantly, subscribe to Count Out with Mike and Tyler on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're really pushing hard. We're so close to 400, and that would mean a lot to us if we can get there by August. That would be fantastic.
And we have more content coming. We're working with people we're not going to mention right now. We're working with people that are very near and dear to our hearts to bring more content to this channel. But we need support for the channel. So all you have to do, we're not asking for money. We're not asking for handouts or charity. We're asking for a click.
Yeah.
If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit it. If you have hit it, get a buddy to hit it.
And if you don't want to hit the subscribe button, we will take your money and your charity.
I like that.
Right?
I like that a lot.
We will.
So go over to www.onlyfans.com/countedout7.
I mean, let's get weird.
That's where the exclusive home of Counted Out After Dark.
I had a great time. I love hanging out with you. We had a nice little gathering after with some people, and we're drinking Victoria's world famous sangria right now, which is taking me to a place that I don't know if I'm ready to go to. I'm just happy, man. I feel good.
It was a good day.
You got me a great cameo that you heard at the beginning of the show from C.W. Anderson, which is fantastic. Thank you.
I'd like you to fit in, just for shits and giggles, I'd like you to fit in the other cameo I got you.
Has that come through yet?
Not that one.
Which one?
My 5-year-old son.
Oh, that was great.
Chose to make you one himself.
That was super nice. Yeah,
he kept asking me, he's like, "Are we going to make a video for Uncle Tyler?" So, let's do it, man.
Yeah, we had a good time at his birthday party too.
Well, it was my daughter's birthday party, but yes.
Oh, sorry, I bought him an Undertaker gift.
You did, which was very, very, very kind of you, and he loves it. He plays with it. He plays with it quite a bit.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Let's talk a little wrestling, man.
Yeah, let's do it, man. So today, we just talked about a great show from Barrie Wrestling. Great segue into the list because we're going to be. It's the mid-year. It's June. Just like every other year we've done so far, usually around June-ish. We break down the first half of the year.
Yes.
Whether it's our favorite moments, our favorite matches. This year I'm going to do pay-per-views or shows in general. Doesn't necessarily need to be on pay-per-view.
Before we get to that, I'd like to ask a few random questions.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I want to talk a little bit about Impact Wrestling's event that they just ran this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of us have watched, but
I was going to say I don't want to talk too much about it. So
I just want to get your opinion on new world champion Alex Shelley.
I don't have an opinion yet because I haven't watched the match.
But
I don't know how it came about.
I don't know. The match, what are your feelings? They've taken the belt off Steve Matson very early.
I'm very torn because I've always wanted to see Shelley with the title at least once.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. You know how I feel about the Guns. So to see the Guns each hoisting a singles title right now is wonderful. However, it just sucks because the two men that drop the titles are the two men I didn't want to be dropping titles right now.
Mm-hmm.
Steve just got it, so I didn't want to see him drop it yet. Now, with that said, you have a theory that I kind of hope is true. I love Alex Shelley, but I hope Shelley basically drops it right back to Macklin on TV right away.
I do think that at Slammiversary we are going to see Steve Macklin versus Nick Aldis still.
I hope so.
I think so. And I'm okay with this quick title change. Even if it's a month long, whatever, because when's Slammiversary? July? Oh, that's quick.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not then, but
there's no more pay-per-views until Slammiversary.
No, they got their TV. They're taping. I would be okay with Shelley dropping the title the week before Slammiversary.
Yeah, this will be tight.
Give him a 3-week title reign. I'm okay with that.
And
I like the surprise factor.
I like the surprise factor, yeah.
And I said to you earlier today, it's really funny because for years and years and years, I bitched, and I'm sure you did, and many other wrestling fans bitch and complain that there were no long title reigns in wrestling. It was hot potato, hot potato, hot potato. Now I feel like everybody's having a long title reign. You know, like Roman Reigns. I love what they're doing with that, and I hope it keeps going because it's incredible and it's beautiful and it's magical. But like Bianca Belair over a year with the title, Walter or Gunter over almost a year and a half now with the title. Aces and eights, Ace Austin and Chris Bay are getting close to a year with the title, are they not?
Really?
I think they're getting close.
No,
maybe not.
No. They got it this year.
Did they? It was at the beginning of the year then.
January.
So okay, so 6 months with the title. Like it was kind of refreshing to just see like Macklin won the belt, and 2 months later, holy fuck, he lost to Alex Shelley. That's cool for me. Like I like that. And
actually, it wasn't even January because you know how I know they dropped the Guns dropped it, and you and I were like, "What the fuck? We're gonna see them in a couple weeks." Remember? So this was it must have been February or March.
It was February.
Because when did we see them at Destiny? And they were still the champs.
February.
So so it hasn't been that long.
Okay, it just feels like a little longer than I guess. Trey Miguel had a decent run.
Now let's talk about Trey Miguel. He had a great run.
Mm-hmm.
He was running up to like what 9-10 months.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah. While this pay-per-view was happening and I wasn't watching it, I was texting you because I was making notes for what my favorite things of this year was, and I was watching the Trey Miguel Chris Sabin match not from last night, but from Under Siege in London, and I told you that nobody in professional wrestling right now is being booked as good as Trey Miguel. Trey Miguel is the best booked wrestler in the world right now.
He's up there.
And I absolutely love everything they're doing with him. I hope they do not take that title off him anytime soon. This match with Sabin is amazing. And you type back, which match are you watching?
I didn't want to spoil anything for you.
So
I'm very courteous to not spoil things for you.
It's a hard pill to swallow. I love Chris Sabin. I like the fact that Chris Sabin is the first ever 9-time X Division champion.
I like the fact that both him and Shelley are both holding singles gold right now.
I like that as well.
Very cool.
But I don't like Trey Miguel not being X Division champion right now.
I mean, maybe he gets it back quick too.
Yeah, we'll see.
I want to talk a little mid-year stuff. Then I want to put you on the spot because we didn't plan out anything with this show because that's how we roll. Mid-year. What's your mid-year match of the year so far?
Fuck, dude. Oh, you're really putting me on the spot.
Big time.
And
it doesn't have to be the best match. Just something that you've really enjoyed.
Mike Bailey Gresham 1 really comes to mind pretty fast. Josh and Bully from Hard to Kill comes to mind. Loved the main event at WrestleMania this year.
That's up there for me.
I loved I don't think you agree with me on this. I can't remember if you do or not, but I loved the men's Royal Rumble this year.
It was good. Very good Rumble.
So yeah, those are the first ones that come to mind, to be honest.
Other than Reverso versus Johnny Swinger from Impact Wrestling, I was maybe a little bit too high and thought Johnny Swinger was the second coming of Shawn Michaels.
You said you would not shut up about him, and then you got on this tangent about Brian Myers. You're like,
great work.
Do you think Brian Myers is overrated?
I think he's underrated. Brian Myers knows how to make everybody look good.
He does.
He worked Sheldon Jean, who I got to announce at Barrie Wrestling, and talked about Big Brother, which I was I'm a Big Brother mark. So
can I be?
He said it was a work.
Can I?
No, sorry. He said it was a shoot.
Yeah, I knew you told me that. Can I be the bearer of bad news? The the Debbie Downer in the room.
Okay.
I don't like Shelton Jean.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not doing it for me.
I like him.
And my problem is I don't know when I watch him, do I not like him? Or am I just a little butthurt that out of all the people that I love on the Ontario indie scene, he got signed?
I think you're butthurt.
I think I am.
Yeah.
I think I am, because then I watch him, I'm like, there's nothing not to like.
I think
His
he's
stuff
still
with-
figuring
his
out
stuff
his
with
role and
His
impact.
stuff with Kenny King is good. He's not a horrible worker.
Yeah, he's good.
But he's also not a phenomenal worker. When I see some of our favorites on the Ontario indie scene and he got signed,
He's got a
and
great
I'm
look
not,
to him.
I'm trying not to be, if some weird freaking reason this gets back to Sheldon, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just my one guy's opinion. But I just don't get it. I don't see it in him. If I'm in Scotty's shoes, if I'm in Impact shoes, he's not on my list.
He's a good hand. I really enjoyed seeing him in Barrie. He was a nice guy. He took a nice picture with me.
Well, we've also seen him in Destiny several times.
Did we?
Yeah, he was in all those multi-man matches in Destiny.
I drink.
Yeah. Remember the first Destiny show we ever went to? They had that big Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in there.
Well, there's a lot of people in
There
there.
sure were.
Match of the year for me. You mentioned both WrestleMania main events. I thought were phenomenal this year.
100%.
You got to give a little shout out to Bad Bunny and Damian Priest.
Yeah, sure.
They had a great match. PCO and Steve Macklin.
Mm-hmm.
Very enjoyable match. That's definitely going to be one I take a look back on. I've got a lot more I still need to watch and rewatch, but
okay, well, let me put you on the spot then, because today we're going to be talking about the shows that really did it for me this year. We're talking about the matches that really did it for me. So the thing that I'm not going to talk about is AEW, because I don't watch the product, so there's nothing for me to talk about.
Right.
So let me ask you, is there anything for AEW worth really putting up in a pedestal in the first half of 2023?
Yes, maybe not pedestal. It might not be the right word, but the main event, or not the main event, sorry, the Four Pillars four-way match.
You really liked that match, eh?
I thought it was a really good match. I will call a spade a spade. I'm not huge on a lot of the guys in the match. I'm hit and miss on MJF. I like Jungle Boy, but I don't think he's world champion material. Guevara is good, but he's not my cup of tea.
Can you just put a little yet in there for Jungle Boy? Because
yes,
thank you.
He's not ready yet.
Okay.
But those four guys. Here's the thing: since day one of AEW, pretty much they've all been called the Four Pillars.
Yeah.
And then to get put in the spot where the world title's on the line, and you have that pressure on you, you're the Four Pillars. They really delivered, and I respect that, because that was a high pressure match for all four of those guys, and everybody came out of it looking phenomenal. So for AEW, I would definitely say that. And I haven't been watching a lot of AEW myself lately.
Okay.
But that's one that jumps out immediately to me is that Four Pillar match.
Cool. I
want to know your tag team of the year so far.
My tag team of the year is the Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's the listen. I feel like everybody kind of points that finger at me going, there's the guy who doesn't talk about the Usos enough. I will rip the Band-Aid off and say the Usos are the greatest tag team in the world right now. They are. I get it.
They're my tag team of the year.
And they should be. But they're not. They're not who I want to watch every week. They're not who I'm clamoring to watch every week. The Motor City Machine Guns are my tag team.
Mm-hmm. I love the Machine Guns.
It.
They're probably my number two.
Yeah.
Usos for me, number one. Quick little plug here. By the time this airs, I did a fun podcast with the group of guys called the Ring Fanatics, Nick and Joel. We did a bracket. They do like a tournament style bracket.
Yeah.
And we did the top tag teams of all time.
What the hell did this happen?
I did it on Monday.
Oh.
It's good. I'll tell you about it off air because I don't want to spoil it on air.
Yeah. I did this.
Go check out their channel at the Ring Fanatics. We have a great time. They do a 16-man tournament where it's like a voting format. So
That's Nick from the Universal?
No, not Universal.
Oh.
Ring Fanatics.
Oh, I know, but you said Nick and
Nick and Joel. Nick
so-
is also from the ring. It's a different Nick.
a different Nick. That's
Different Nick.
okay.
Yes. The great guys, by the way. They put out great content. They actually interviewed Nova before. Great guys.
Cool.
But their show format's fun. Once a month, they do a tournament style bracket. So as the guest, I got to pick 16 tag teams, or I believe it was 16 tag teams, and then they did
16 take-ins of all time.
yeah.
All right. Just so people, let's throw people a little bone here to make them want to watch this.
Okay.
You're
You're gonna be mad I didn't have the machine guns on my list.
You're fucking high. So what was your criteria? Why would you not put them on? Okay. No, this is gonna go ugly. Is there anybody on the list you think would surprise me?
No. I'll tell you the 16 right now. Midnight Express, Dudley Boys, Brainbusters, Heart Foundation, Edge and Christian, who I would have maybe subbed for machine guns. LOD, Usos, British Bulldogs, Steiner Brothers, Demolition, could have also subbed for machine guns.
Okay.
Rock and Roll Express, FTR, Young Bucks, Briscoes, Rockers, Hardy Boys. Pretty solid.
Either the Rockers or Demolition for me would come off for the machine guns.
The machine guns were hard to leave off.
Listen, we've talked about this before. The Rockers aren't even close to being the best tag team of all time.
No, but they're incredible.
They're incredible, but over the fucking Motor City Machine Guns, like one of the most decorated tag team champions of all time.
Very hard to leave off. But unfortunately, if you take a step back and you look at what legacies are going to be left in the wrestling business, I do think the Rockers will be more fondly remembered than the Motor City Machine Guns.
Do you know why though?
Because
and I truly believe this, because Marty didn't do anything else. I think I do. I think if Marty had a better career, it'd be easier to forget the Rockers.
If Marty had a better career, the Rockers would be more
I don't know.
prestigious.
Because people don't, when people think of Marty, they think the Rockers. When people think of Sean, they don't think the Rockers.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean?
But but the fact that the Rockers are still remembered so fondly.
Yeah.
Hey,
listen, they had some great matches.
They did.
I just about 2 weeks ago, I said, screw it. And I went back and watched their Royal Rumble 1991 match.
Express.
It's one of my favorite matches of all time.
Incredible match. It was a fun podcast either way. Tune in to see who won the match. I'll tell you off air who won. You can watch it if you want, but
I mean, there's only a couple names that could, but we'll talk.
That was tough. I'll tell you about that later. But Ring Fanatics, at Ring Fanatics, check them out. But for me, the Usos are my tag team of the year. They main evented WrestleMania, and I made that very clear in my discussion with the Ring Fanatics. That's a big deal for me. No tag team has ever main evented WrestleMania as tag team champions. In fact, there hasn't been a tag team match that main evented WrestleMania since WrestleMania 1.
Yeah, that's right.
And the Usos, what's so incredible about them is they've been in the company for so long.
People forget how long they've been around, by the way.
And they're rising.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they hit a peak and then they're just kind of, oh, yeah, we're chilling. They're doing the best work they've ever done in their careers right now. Over 10 years into their run in the WWE. That's so impressive. This bloodline stuff is incredible. The Kevin Owens and especially Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, that stuff was incredible.
And now they're keeping it fresh by having Usos defect from the bloodline.
And it's still a toss-up.
The stuff with Solo is really, really good.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get the Usos against Solo and Roman at Money in the Bank.
Which I love.
The Usos, to me, are hands down the tag team of the year.
All right. Well, maybe they're your tag team of all time. We'll see if you go check out the Ring Fanatics.
How about your wrestler of the year?
My wrestler of the year. That's tough. Overall, like everything, not just in the ring.
I mean, it's your list. It's your call. What's doing it for you?
Roman Reigns is definitely up there for me.
Agreed. You'd have to be an idiot not to
he's definitely in the top 3. You know who edges out Roman for me though? It's got to be Sami Zayn. I think Sami. This was Sami's year. Yep. Roman was just there to help Sami elevate. You know what I mean?
I think Sami helped elevate Roman too.
Maybe a bit.
I think Sammy took the bloodline from something really cool and made it like amazing, can't miss TV.
From an in-ring perspective, Mike Bailey's got to be talked about.
Nice
But if
call.
we're talking about everything, we're talking about mic skills, we're talking about in-ring, we're talking about heat, pop, everything together. And most importantly, evolution, because this is somebody that maybe wasn't in this discussion 1 year ago. I'm going to throw out the name Trey Miguel.
Wow. You're really big on Trey this
I
year.
really am. I think Trey Miguel has come a long way since the Radicals.
Yeah.
And just in this little in this last year of this heel run of his career, fucking phenomenal stuff. He has not put on a bad match. Everything he does, from his new theme song to his to his actions coming to the ring, to his commentating work, to his promos, everything is hitting on every fucking cylinder.
Fair.
He's up there for me, man.
Fair.
Yeah.
You mentioned Roman, obviously. I think you gotta tip your cap to Cody this year as well.
Oh,
Cody,
for sure. Yeah.
Cody's having a great year.
Well, a great year. Yeah. We're
Came back in January.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? It's had a great program with Brock.
Wow, I can't believe he's been back for 6 months. Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, time's flying. This year's really going by quick. But I think for me it's Roman. But I don't think it's like a dominant standout year.
No, I don't think anybody had. That's why I was able to throw a bunch of names. Nobody had a dominant standout year. Nobody in any company. Now go ahead and say the dragon word, because I know you want it.
To be determined.
Okay.
To be determined. I think.
I mean, he's about to have what's probably going to be match of the year against Okada.
I mean,
in a couple weeks. So.
Yeah, I cannot wait. AEW, I gotta say, they haven't been doing it for me lately. I'm interested in AEW right now. Forbidden Door is looking like it's going to be really cool. You got CM Punk coming back, which love him or hate him, that's getting the wrestling world talking again. What do you think? Not
selling tickets though.
No, I mean that show is going to be something else. What do you think of the match they announced for CM Punk, his return match? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
It is going to be the main event of the very first Collision show.
Okay.
Is going to be CM Punk and FTR teaming up against the Gold Bullet Club of Jay White and Juice Robinson.
Okay.
And Samoa Joe.
Okay.
I think that's a great match.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I think that, and I'm glad that they've announced that Punk is coming back. And I'm glad that he's coming back in a match and not a promo, because it's different.
While we're talking about these crossover shows, did you hear who Impact announced for the multiverse show?
Mr.
Tanahashi.
Big time.
Interesting. Bailey?
Well, I mean, they were supposed to last time.
Right?
So it makes sense.
Let's do it.
I'm really excited for Forbidden Door. 2 matches announced so far, with the rumor third one of Punk and Kenta.
Yeah, I mean, that's a match that's been needed to happen for 20 years. So if you're going to do it, let's do it now. Yeah.
And I mean, we're going to be in for a good second half of the year.
The second half of the year is going to be amazing. Already, I think in June, I think 2023 is going to be a great year.
I think we've been spoiled.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the spoils for a minute. So I've got 7 shows to talk about, what I think hits all my personal criteria for. So we're going to hit it off with my number 7. Now, before I hit my number 7, I got to tell you, I think for the most part, up to maybe 4 or 5 of these shows are not going to surprise you, but a couple will.
I think you're going to be pretty heavy on Impact here, right? Safe to say?
We'll see. Might surprise you. I think this show might surprise you. We're starting number 7. We are going to Toronto, Canada, with GCW's Worst Behavior.
That just because we were there live?
You would think so. I went and rewatched it.
Yeah.
It's one of the best shows GCW's put on in the last year and a half.
We did get spoiled.
And rewatching the matches It's one of my favorite shows that anybody's put on this year. Masha Slamovich versus Mike Bailey is one of my favorite matches this year, hands down. Let me go through some of the other matches that just make my point here.
Gringo Loco against Cartwheel.
Great match. Rina Yamashita versus Lufisto. Great match. Very fun six-man tag team match.
Yeah.
You know, fun stuff there. Vance Warner versus Cole Raddick, which I was very excited about because I'm a big Vance Warner fan. Sexy Eddie versus Matt Cardona.
Hilarious match.
Great match. Just being in the building and seeing Joey Janela, you know what I mean?
I thought you were gonna say being in the building and seeing Sexy Eddie's asshole.
Oh man, directly in there.
Yeah,
I know this wouldn't make your list, and I understand why you're skeptical of making mine, but it has to make mine. It's a very fun show.
I mean, going back,
Even
and
if
thinking
we
about
weren't
it, maybe.
standing ringside, out of all the shows because I can't watch every GCW show because they put on way too many. But out of let's say the 12 GCW shows I've watched this year, this is my favorite. And it's one of my favorites.
You're not going to get an argument out of me on this.
You assumed I'd be a little Impact heavy, so maybe my number 6 will put that to rest. We are going to Hard to Kill in the beginning of the year.
Josh and Bully.
Josh and Bully.
Okay, yeah.
Just to throw you some match, not just Josh and Bully. It was Full Metal Mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
This is the match that, like, you saw Josh's ugly side. You know, it was fun. It was really fun. And his beautiful wife came out and you got to see her ugly side a little bit, which was fantastic. We saw a great four-team elimination match with the Machine Guns, the Bullet Club, the Major Players, Heath and Rhino. Really fun stuff for the tag team titles. We got a bit of the ending to maybe not quite the ending, but the start of the ending to the Moose and Joe Hendry
They had a fun
story.
match there, right?
Yeah. So that, we had that. We of course had that great 4-way match for the Knockouts title between Masha, Deanna, Killer Kelly, and Taylor Wilde. Stuff really, really, really fun stuff, man.
Yeah, that's a low key.
Eddie versus John Grisham.
Yeah.
Really fun stuff. Oh, Steve Macklin, Rich Swan.
Yeah,
The False Count Anywhere match. And of course the main event was Mickey James bringing the last rodeo to an end and beating Jordan Gates for the title.
Yeah, and I'm excited for Mickey to come back too.
Yeah. Do you members of the show?
I remember the Full Metal Mayhem. I remember thinking it was real badass seeing Jade and Josh covered in thumbtacks together. I thought that was cool.
Yes.
And I remember being very impressed with the main event with Mickey and Jordan. And I remember loving the booking of Josh and Bully. And I thought that putting Josh with Bully was really good for Josh and establishing him even further in his credibility as a champion.
Right. For my next, for my number 5, we're going back to the beginning of the year. We're going back to January. We're hitting Ring of Honor and their Briscoes tribute show.
Okay.
Just to throw out a couple matches from the show, you had Eddie Kingston versus QT Marshall, which I don't like QT Marshall. So
I love QT Marshall.
So for me to have a match that I actually enjoyed, pretty good.
Seeing him live in AEW in Toronto he was the MVP. For me. He was so good.
Great match between Athena and Madison Rayne on this show. Juice Robinson and Brennan Cutler. And of course, the main event that made the whole show for me, being Christopher Daniels versus Claudio Castagnoli. And not only was it a phenomenal match, it was so fucking emotional.
The actual like tribute match that they did too on Jay's birthday with Jay Lee and Jay Lee. Wow, I'm in Barry mode still. Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe about a month before that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought was really nice. I also liked when they crowned new tag team champions that they called it the Reach for the Sky ladder match.
Love that.
I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I said it last week. Like this has been a tough year for performers that we lost and people from our childhood and even our present day. Like, it's never easy anytime we lose somebody. Last year, was a little bit lighter in the deaths than previous years, and this year's been really, really hard. And I'm hoping that we don't have to do any more tribute shows this
God, I
year
hope not.
because they're hard, man.
Before I move on, we're already at my number 4. I should explain part of my criteria. If it's a show that has multiple nights, like a WrestleMania or a Wrestle Kingdom, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Wrestle Kingdom with multiple nights, it's one show to me.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
it's one show. I don't have time to do like we only have 7 on the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like, okay, so Wrestle Kingdom night 1 is my number 7. You know what I mean?
I would break them up personally, but it's
yeah.
your list. It's your day today.
But that makes it harder for the show because if night 1 was great, but night 2 sucked ass, then maybe that show's not making the list because you have to base on the whole show. So, with that said, we're moving on to my number 4, which is the 2023 Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Absolutely love this pay-per-view.
It's a great pay-per-view. Tell me some of the undercard matches.
I
forget them.
Let's start with let's not start with Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. It's not making my
No, that was bad.
that's not helping me. Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss. Okay, the undercard sucked. Roman and Kevin Owens was your main event.
Yeah, big angle.
The rest of the undercard sucked.
But both Rumble matches were great.
But they're 2 of the best Royal Rumble matches we've had in years. I love both Royal Rumble matches, and I love the finish with with Sammy's turn on the bloodline and all that stuff.
Powerful stuff.
One of my favorite finishes to a Royal Rumble in a very, very, very long time.
Cody looked great. Rhea was a monster.
Yeah,
it's everything you want in Rumble, and people want to see Cody and Gunter more.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I may not get heat for having this on the list. I may get heat for the placement of it. I don't know about from you, but from listeners. Let's see how you feel about it. If anything, you're going to be very surprised.
Okay.
Shocked even.
If it's AEW, I will be.
Closest I got there was Ring of Honor. Are you ready for my number 3?
Yes.
Because my number 3, Cage rules everything around me.
Barrie Wrestling.
Barrie Wrestling's May show cream. Is the 3rd best wrestling show I have watched in 2023. Anybody who has a problem with that hasn't seen the show. Go to IWTV, watch that show, and then fucking argue with me.
I'll be there too.
Argue with me about that show.
I won't argue with you.
What a goddamn show. Now, I don't have the card right in front of me because those cards are hard to just pop up. Do you remember, other than the main event, which we'll get to in a minute, do you remember the matches on this card?
Yes.
Let's start with my favorite on the card, other than the main event. Let's start with Myung Jae Lee and the hot stepper McCray Martin.
Absolutely. How
does Myung Jae Lee keep getting better?
Every show.
How does he do this?
Every show he gets better. It's unbelievable. I've got the card here.
And McCray Martin's no slouch. McCray Martin, one of the people that you can say made it onto my list twice.
Because he was on
GCW and Barrie Wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. This show was great from top to bottom. You had Jay Lee and Hot Stepper, which tore the house down. Kyle Boone and Shiloh did their vacating of the title, which was a fun segment.
Can I just break that apart for a minute? Kyle Boone attempting to set the title on fire is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Incredible.
Because the ring announcer played it so fun, like hilariously.
That's me.
And I know you were told not to laugh or anything, just in case Kyle comes back as a face later on or something like that. But you played it up so well. The shock on your face when he comes over with the lighter is so funny, man.
I'll pull the curtain back a little bit on this one just because I love Kyle and Shiloh so much. I always go to every talent and ask them if there's anything I can do.
Yeah.
No matter what, if it's a tweak an announcement or a placement of me or whatever, I will always talk to everybody. And Kyle, I here's the whole story. I went to put my shirt on for the show I was going to wear, and I've gotten really fat. and my shirt that I pulled out of my closet from probably 5 years ago, I just could not get the button to go. I had to run to Moore's and buy a new shirt on the spot. I ran back, and Kyle was like, "Oh, hey, we want you to be part of our segment. I'm gonna try to set the belt on fire." And I just started dying laughing. I'm like, "This is why, like, Kyle and Shiloh, my
They're so
favorite
funny.
people to work
I
with.
love
They're
them.
incredible." And they're just like, "I'll if you could just put your hands on your head and go, ah, like that's
Yeah.
what we're looking for out of
Yeah.
you." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And that's what we did. It was such a fun
good.
segment.
I loved it.
Such a fun segment.
It
Also,
really added to why I love this show.
yeah. Also on the card, Alexi Nicole versus Stratosphere versus John Green versus Pretty Ricky with the run-in from Trent
With a run from
Seven.
Trent Seven, great stuff.
And Trent Seven, I don't know if I told you this. He came up to me after the show and said I did a great job.
You did
And
tell me
that really made me feel well.
Yeah.
Vinny Pacifico versus Mark Wheeler had a banger
I
of a
didn't know
match.
what to expect from that. I know nothing about Vinny Pacifico. I love this match, man.
Great match.
Great stuff.
For me, great honor. I got to introduce Rip Impact to the ring. I love Rip Impact. He teamed with Mark Haas coming out of retirement and McCauley from Rock 95 against John Atlas, Clay Wilson, and Jake O'Reilly. Sheldon Jean and Jesse V had a great match. And then the main event, steel cage match, Gabriel Flares versus Reverso.
Fuck, man. One of the best steel cage matches I've seen in quite a while.
I agree.
Definitely the best steel cage match that I've seen on the Indies.
Yeah. Yeah, and not even close. Reversal did a moonsault off the top of the cage.
Oh man!
Holy
And it's
shit.
something in the cage. They're just like the standing Spanish fly.
The storytelling in
those-
general.
The storytelling.
Reversal wearing his mask,
Yeah.
like good,
Yeah.
good. Call.
It seemed to be a send-off story for Reversal for a while.
Yeah, I
which,
think so.
Which leads because he didn't show up today, so I'm gonna guess that maybe Reversal is not gonna be around Barrie for a bit.
I'm hoping we see him fully signed at Impact Wrestling soon because he deserves it. And he's one of the best human beings on the planet.
He is, and selfishly, I don't want to see him go away.
Remember us, Reverso. We love you.
How do you feel about that being my number 3?
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
But I'm a Barrie guy, so
That's it.
I mean, you could put all the Barrie shows on all 7 of your spots. I wouldn't fight you.
My number 2, we're going back to the land of Impact Wrestling. We're going to London, Ontario, Under Siege.
Okay. Now we're gonna have some beef.
Okay.
Not because of this placement and not because it's on your card, but to me, there are 2 shows that need to be on your list, I think.
Okay.
In my opinion, of course, which is the right opinion as always. But to me, this was the best Impact Wrestling show of the year.
You knew that there was not going to be any AEW on that.
I don't care about AEW.
Okay.
We're talking about that. There are 2.
There are 2 shows that you think I'm missing?
Yes.
Okay. I can guess what one of them is. I'm going to guess it's my number 1.
Okay. We'll get there.
Well, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Let's talk about Under Siege for a minute, man.
To me, this was Impact's best.
This is the best match of the best show of the year, hands down. Great match with Nick Aldis versus Kenny King. Great stuff right there. Love the slow formation of the new OVE. So now we know that the Batman Fulton's back, but before Fulton came in, it was Rich Swann in that spot, which is great because of the the between Sammy and Rich. I love that stuff. To see them go up against the design was fantastic. Great little match with Trinity and Giselle Shaw.
Trinity, let's talk about that. That's a big get for Impact Wrestling.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm happy to see that.
I like Trinity. I think this is a good place for her because she was kind of, I know they tried to push her. What was her name? Naomi?
Yeah.
They tried to push her and they got her in that tag position. She was just floundering in a sea of
a lot of stop-start with her. She get really over and then they cool her down and then she get over again. They cool her down.
Exactly. We're here where the women's division is a little smaller.
Her and Tiana are going to have a banger.
Just as, if not more talented, mind you, but smaller nonetheless. So there's more room for her to play and do her thing and be noticed.
Tiana, by the way, is my women's wrestler of the year. I didn't ask you that one earlier, but just to put that on record, Tiana is my woman wrestler.
I don't think I can argue that, man. I don't think I can.
And that's coming up Bianca and then Asuka and a lot of good talented women this year, but I think Tiana has just been on fire.
Fucking phenomenal match between Trey McGowan and Chris Sabin.
Talk about the main event though.
Amazing match between Deanna and Jordan Grace.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Steve Macklin defending his championship against PCO.
This match made me feel every kind of emotion. I went from being like, this is awesome, to holy fuck, that's a lot of blood, to I don't want to watch this match anymore, to oh my god, I can't believe what's going, like I've never gone through so many emotions in a wrestling match before.
Yeah. PCO, man, he I think this is the perfect first opponent for Macklin.
It was.
You know, and I wasn't too sure at first, but PCO really proved he was the man to put Steve. Now I don't know how to feel because now 3 weeks later, Steve goes and drops the belt.
He
So
fucking stapled PCO's mouth shut.
Right?
Like legit. I watched him pull staples out.
Alex Shelley. I'm starting to hate this again. I don't know how to feel.
Or maybe that war with PCO took a toll.
But is that the story they're telling?
I don't know. I didn't watch.
Yeah. What a match, man. So fucking violent. So much blood. Like he went full fucking Eddie Guerrero on this one. Like it was scary.
Big time.
And then of course the after match stuff was very fun. With Bully coming out, then putting
table.
Scotty through a flaming table.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. I don't think it's gonna be hard for you to guess what my number one is. But we're going back to April for WrestleMania 39.
Okay, and especially if you're combining both the two as one night.
Yes.
100%. This is the right call. This was a great WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
They produced 3 match of the year quality matches out
Absolutely.
of 2 nights. The IC title match, I think, might be the greatest IC title match in the history of the IC title.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe
maybe
Bret and Bulldog and Bret and Perfect, but I think this is like top three IC title matches of all time.
You got Seth and Logan Paul had a very, very great fun match.
Paul for Money in the Bank, please.
One of my personal favorite matches of the weekend was Ray and Dom.
Oh, I forgot how good that was.
Right. Ray and Dom were phenomenal together. They told such a good, just like they've been doing all year. They went and they told this great WrestleMania story.
Is Dominic Mysterio the best heel in wrestling right now?
Definitely up there.
I think he is.
Definitely up there.
My opinion, I think he is.
Rhea Charlotte, always good.
Oh, they tore the house down.
You already mentioned earlier in the show, but Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos, phenomenal match. Even Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
Fun.
Was not expecting it to be as good as it was, and it really was.
And like, if you look back now, like armchair quarterbacking, everyone that match got announced, everyone hated it. But what they did with Brock the next night, that match makes so much more sense now.
Absolutely. The only match I think that we'll disagree on that I really enjoyed and you didn't was Edge and Finn Balor.
It's not that I didn't enjoy the match. I just I was expecting more from it, I think.
All right, man, rip it off. What show am I so drastically missing from my list?
Backlash.
All right, let me go see the card again, because you very well may be right.
And not only because of what the card was, because what the crowd made that card.
Oh, okay.
That card felt special. And I think that card deserves to be on your list somewhere. That Puerto Rican crowd was on fire.
Rico show.
Yes.
How could you're so right? I cannot believe that I did not even consider this. This was 100% just a mind slip.
Yeah, and that happens.
Holy shit! Sorry, GCW.
I mean, yeah, right.
Love you. I was there, but no.
That Backlash. No. Bad Bunny's entrance. Let
me reassess here. I think back. Oh, I hate to push Barrie Wrestling into the top 3, but I think Backlash gets my number 3 spot.
That's where I would have it as well. I would agree with your top 3. I
think Barrie gets put. I think everything else just goes down 1. I think Barrie goes down to 4. Yep. ROH goes down to 6, whatever it was. ROH or Royal Rumble goes down to 5. Mm-hmm. But fuck, man. I forgot how good Backlash was here.
It was a great show.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we do our year-end show, and to me, a moment that if I were doing the list, I know it's your list this year for the year-end show, but if I were doing the list for the year-end show, Bad Bunny's entrance alone might make my list for incredible moments of the year. It's one of the greatest entrances I've ever seen in wrestling.
Carlito's pop alone
That match,
could make a list for best moments of the year.
Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, that match, I think you really need to think about that for your list this year.
You may not be wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
And just for that match alone, I think that card should that this is a top 7 card, but then you take in Cody and Brock and Bianca and Io, like this was a fucking fire card.
Well, looks like WWE's edging out a win for my year so far. No other company has 3 shows. That's 3 for WWE, 1 for Barrie, 2 for Impact.
I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be like 5 Impact shows for you.
I mean, listen.
The ROH show surprised me.
Sacrifice was fun because we were there. It wasn't show of the year caliber. It just wasn't.
Unless they just booked the best of 7 series the weekend between Reversal and Johnny Swinger.
Rebellion was a very fun show because I was there. And there were some matches like it would Rebellion may make my top 10, but not my top 7, unfortunately.
Elimination Chamber could be in discussion.
Elimination Chamber, I go back and I think I only like it for the ending.
It was special. That main event was special.
Yeah, I think that's all I like it for, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's halfway through the year. It's June, man. We still have another 6 months of professional wrestling. If you think you went back and you watched that Barrie Wrestling Cream show, if you like that, go to IWTV, watch everything that comes before, and keep on watching everything that comes after. Hopefully, I'll keep going to the Barrie Wrestling shows. TCO over here is going to be ring announcing as many as he can, including, I believe, the Canada Day shows.
I think it depends if I'm going to the cottage or not that weekend. If I don't go to the cottage, I will be at Canada Day. I was told today.
Listen, man, go like and subscribe Barrie Wrestling's Instagram and Facebook page so you know you're up to date on their shows. Grab tickets if you're anywhere in Ontario. It's worth the trip down to Barrie to see a show. Yeah. It really is. The crowd is phenomenal. The crew is phenomenal. It's like a little family there, like I've said before.
It is.
And there's always, whether I'm there or not, there's always a counted out table. Come say hi.
Yeah, Wilson will be there. Don't make eye contact with him.
No.
That's for the best of everybody. I don't have a whole lot more to say this week. I just want to piggyback. I don't know if I'm still feeling the birthday vibes and the love, but I love everybody. Barrie Wrestling, you made me feel loved tonight, and I appreciate that more than you can know. But more importantly, I love having you beside me, man. I said it last week. I was real excited for this. The fact that we're recording in person together, always something special for me, which I am enjoying greatly. And you look great in that Bengals jersey.
Yeah,
let's fucking go. I don't care what you say, Clay Wilson. That's an inside
Clay
joke.
Clay Wilson, who I have not seen in person since February.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
Well, no, because I see him at a Destiny show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So probably not since February. I was excited to see him. And he walks over. He even said to you, "Where's Mike?"
It's funny. I was talking to Clay in the back. We're just catching up after the show. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, "Mike's here tonight, right?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm going to go say hi to him." I said, "Okay, cool."
And he walks up and he does the old Ric Flair. Gives me the handshake and
pulls it back.
He goes, "That's a stupid fucking hat."
I did pop really hard.
Man, how I did not see that coming. Anybody who knows Clay Wilson, not the wrestler, just the person. Everything you see in the ring, that's Clay fucking Wilson.
He's misunderstood. He's misunderstood.
I love him so much.
And his Buffalo Bandits won the lacrosse championship, and he's been giving it to Diamond Jim for the Toronto Rock, so that's been fun. But yeah, man, hit that subscribe button. Keep making us feel the love, whether there's 20 of you that listen or whether there's 200 of you or 2,000 or 200,000. We love you all, man, and we're just going to keep on having fun. Fuck, I might do a list next week. Maybe we're gonna have Anthony on. We've been talking to him. Rob will love that. But you gonna take us home or what?
Yeah, on behalf of the very happy birthday, my brother.
Yeah, you're next.
I am next. I'm getting very close to my own. But until then, we have been counted out.
Cheers.